the Constitution of the United States and the Declaration of Independence, it's more important than ever for every American to know exactly what the Constitution, the Bill of Rights, and the Declaration of Independence actually says. Here is the essential guide for patriots. We, the people of the United States, in order to form a more perfect union, establish justice, ensure domestic tranquility, provide for the common defense, promote the general welfare, and secure the blessings of liberty to ourselves and our posterity. Do ordain and establish this Constitution for the United States in Congress assembled. Okay, ensure domestic tranquility. Domestic meaning within the United States. Okay? Ensure domestic tranquility. That means peace within our borders. The Congress shall have power to lay and collect taxes, duties, imposts, and excises to pay the debts and provide for the common defense and general welfare of the United States. No state, without the consent of the United States and Congress assembled, shall send any embassy to, or receive any embassy from, or enter into any conference, agreement, alliance, or treaty with any king, or prince, or state. And the Congress is made up of representatives from each state, and that's why they had to agree before they could do anything. Unless when in cases of rebellion or invasion, the public safety may require otherwise. No state shall, without the consent of the United States and Congress assembled, impose, enforce, or collect any tax, duty, impost, or excise on any imports or exports, or tonnage and navigation, or the regulation of such. One thing that they forgot to put in the Constitution is the right to keep and bear arms. A decent respect to the opinions of mankind requires that they should declare the causes which impel them on a measure so drastic as the total separation. This is the opening paragraph of the Declaration of Independence. It's one of the most famous paragraphs ever written in the history of mankind. They're saying that the King of England is not giving them their rights. He has forbidden his governors to pass laws of immediate and pressing importance, contrary to the interests of the people. He has raised the conditions of laborers to a point of wanton oppression. He has obstructed the administration of justice. He has kept among us, in times of peace, standing armies, without a concurrence of our legislatures. He has affected to control and govern our colonial councils. He has dissolved representative houses repeatedly for opposing with manly firmness his invasions on the rights of the people. One thing that they forgot to put in the Constitution is the right to assemble. And then in the fourth paragraph, they summarize it all. And that is this, that whenever any form of government becomes destructive of these ends, it is the right of the people to alter or to abolish it and to institute a new government. Whenever any form of government becomes destructive of these ends, it is the right of the people to alter or to abolish it and to institute a new government. And that is the justification of the American Revolution. And that is the justification of the founding of this great nation. Well, because they wanted to explain to the world why they were declaring independence. A decent respect to the opinions of mankind requires that they should declare the causes which impel them on a measure so drastic as the total separation. And what are those causes? Well, that's exactly what they're going to tell you in the next paragraph. One thing that they forgot to put in the Constitution is the right to petition the government for a redress of grievance. These rights, although they're not specifically mentioned in the Constitution, are found in the Declaration of Independence. And that's why it's so important to understand both documents. Why did they put that in the Constitution? They didn't want states to impose tariffs on imports or exports, because that would be a protectionist policy, something that would hinder the free flow of trade between the states. Now, what does that mean? It means that you cannot suspend the writ of habeas corpus unless in cases of rebellion or invasion, the public safety may require otherwise. He has forbidden his governors to pass laws of immediate and pressing importance, contrary to the interests of the people he has sent thither troops in the midst of a civil war to turn the hearts of a warlike people from mildness to moderation. He has raised the conditions of laborers to a point of wanton oppression. He has obstructed the administration of justice. He has kept among us, in times of peace, standing armies, without a concurrence of our legislatures. He has affected to control and govern our colonial councils. He has dissolved representative houses repeatedly for opposing with manly firmness his invasions on the rights of the people. He has erected a multitude of new offices, the incumbents of which, like a multitude of parasites, eat out the substance of the people. He has kept among us, in times of peace, standing armies, without a concurrence of our legislatures, and he has combined with others to disappoint and to injure the honest policy of our interior, sincere dependence on the protection of Great Britain. What is the writ of habeas corpus? Habeas corpus is Latin. It means you shall have the body. And what it means is that if somebody accuses you of a crime, then the court must hear the evidence in order to see if there is probable cause. If there is probable cause, then you are charged, and then you go to trial. If not, then they have to release you immediately. Why did they include that in the Constitution? Because they didn't want the government to be able to just take you away and imprison you without charging you with a crime. Now, Why would they put this in the Constitution? Why would they put this in the Constitution? Because they didn't want any state to align themselves with a foreign king or a foreign power. And that's why they had to consent to it. Why? Because we don't want any state to align themselves with a foreign power against the Union. But why are these people paying taxes? Because they're creating a national debt. And where does the government get the power to do that? Well, it's spelled out in Article 1, Section 8 of the Constitution, which gives Congress the power to lay and collect taxes. Provide for the common defense. Provide for the common defense. Okay. Of the people of the Union. Promote the general welfare. General meaning common. Overall, promote the common welfare. Okay. Of the people. And lastly, secure the blessings of liberty to ourselves and our posterity. Secure the blessings of liberty to ourselves and our posterity. Now, posterity means future generations. So we want to make sure that we secure the blessings of liberty to ourselves, the people who are alive today, and to our future generations. Now, notice that throughout this entire preamble, it doesn't mention a king. It doesn't mention a monarch. It doesn't mention any type of nobility. It just talks about the people. Why is that important? Because it establishes the foundation of this country. It was built on the idea that all people are created equal, that they have unalienable rights that cannot be infringed upon, and the government gets its power from the people. And that's why the first three words are "We the people of the United States." And so, without the people, there is no United States. Without the people, this document is worthless. Without the people, there is no government. And the people have the power. Not the king, not a monarch, not an emperor. The people, there's 7 parts of this. We are going to look at each one of them individually. First of all, we the people of the United States. Okay, so who wrote this? Who is the source? We the people of the United States. That means us, the people, not the king, not some other entity. Us, the people, are establishing this Constitution, and I'm going to show you why that is so important in just a second. Now we're going to look at the preamble, because that is what it is called. The preamble. In order to form a more perfect union, establish justice, ensure domestic tranquility, provide for the common defense, promote the general welfare, and secure the blessings of liberty to ourselves and our posterity. Now let's go through these real quick. In order to form a more perfect union. What does that mean? When they're talking about a union, what do they mean by that? They're talking about the union of the states, the 13 different states that were united under a government. Now that was then, and that's now. But do you realize that this also applies to the union of the people? We are united in this union. Do you realize that you are part of a union of free people who have the right to life, liberty, and property? And that is the basis of the union. So if you are disconnected from that union, your voice has no power here. You can only exercise your voice, your vote, if you are part of that union. So when they say in order to form a more perfect union, that means that we are forming a union of people. It's not just a union of states. It is a union of people who have certain unalienable rights that cannot be infringed upon. Now, establish justice. What does that mean? Establish justice. That means that there will be courts that will judge fairly between the different parties. Article 1, Section 8, Clause 1. Article 1, Section 9, Clause 7. Article 1, Section 10, Clause 1. No state without the consent of the United States and Congress assembled shall make any alteration at any time. Section 9, Clause 3. Suspension of the writ of habeas corpus. And then the last one that I'm going to read to you is Section 10, Clause 4. But one thing that they forgot to put in the Constitution is the right to free speech. When in the course of human events, it becomes necessary for one people to dissolve the political bands which have connected them with another, and to assume among the powers of the earth the separate and equal station to which the laws of nature, and of nature as God entitle them now. Why did they write that? He has refused his assent to laws, the most wholesome and necessary for the public good. Now, what are they saying? And then finally, in the 3rd paragraph, they list out all the grievances, the complaints that they have against the king. Now, if you want to learn more about the American Revolution, check out my video on the Boston Tea Party. It's really interesting.